Heyo, welcome into the CHGO White Sox postgame show. Presented by PointsBet. Use promo code CHGO when you sign up to get 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000. Welcome into Studio A of our CHGO offices here in the West Loop of Chicago. After a White Sox win, 9-8 in 10 innings. It was a nail-biter. The White Sox gave us every reason to not believe in them, yet they still pulled through. I'm Sean Anderson, the host of the CHGO White Sox podcast. You can follow me on Twitter at Sean_W_Anderson. Alongside me, as always, is Herb Lawrence.
Hello.
You can follow him on Twitter at Ecknerwall23, and you can follow the show on Twitter at CHGO_White Sox. Our beat writer for the CHGO White Sox crew, Vinny Duber, is out at Guaranteed Rate Field right now, and who will join us about midway through the podcast to say, what Tony told him, what Leury said after the legend came through. I'm guessing Eloy Jimenez is going to speak after this game. Let's talk about it, Herb. We like to start with the positive, and weirdly enough, the offense is the positive today. They got down 1-0. They came back. They got down 3-1. They came back. They got down, I think at one point it was 6-5, and they came back. They got down 8-6, and they came back. And they got down 8-8 going in the 10th inning, and they pulled through with the victory. I mean, the White Sox fought at every single time they were down. This is a good performance from the White Sox offense.
And how many times did you think the White Sox were done? You see those home runs by the Twins, you're like, Gio Urshela, who the hell is this? Why is he hitting home runs off for our pitchers? And once they went down 3-1, I was like, here we go. Here we go again. Then you get the home run from Luis Robert. You're like, all right, here we go. I mean, Eloy hit the first one, didn't he?
Eloy hit the first one.
Yeah, and then you get the 3-2 tie the game with the Luis Robert rocket. You're like, okay, here we go. And then when they go down, I think it was like 5-3. I was like, cashed. This has been real. They come back. Same thing at 6 and same thing at 8. And to tell you that I thought this was going to end well, I would be lying. I thought that this was going to end like Monday's game, where the White Sox did tie the game up late 2-2, and then the Twins were just going to score a bunch of runs off of Jose Ruiz. By the way,
it was tight.
That was his 9th straight appearance with giving up 0 runs. So, yes, people question the move. Jose Ruiz has been a thing since June 12th. This is the last time he's given up an earned run. So it was a well-played baseball game is very hard to say. But the White Sox did not hurt themselves as they usually do on the base pass with a defensive effort. They were all right. I mean, we saw that error early, and I don't know if it was called an error by Gavin Sheets to let Gio Urshela score from first on a double. But for the most part, I felt the team was giving representative effort and not messing with themselves except for a couple times. But beggars can't be choosers. A W was a W.
Yeah, they labeled the double by Jeffers as a double, so no error on that Sheets one. But, hey, that's kind of what you get, and that's what we've talked about with the way that this team has been constructed. That's what you get when you put a right fielder out in first base. Sheets and Robert, there's a ball out in the gap. They go and converge on it. They're not sure who should pick it up. Gio Urshela ends up scoring because they couldn't make the right call on who would pick it up, and then Sheets picked it up and dropped it anyway. So, I mean, that's just what you're going to get when you have poor fielders out and fielding those positions. But, hey, this is also what happens when you guys take great at-bats. It was great at-bat after great at-bat. I really loved the White Sox approach today. It really felt like a holistic approach from this team, not only from Luis Robert, not only from the returning Eloy Jimenez, not only from Jose Abreu, but Josh Harrison had a great at-bat in that 10th inning. Leury Garcia had a good at-bat in that 10th inning. Sebi Zavala has been fantastic with the stick. It's been really great to see, but that's the story today is home runs. Minnesota hit their fair share of home runs today. They got home runs from Polanco, 2 of them off of Jorge Polanco, and then they also got one from Gio Urshela. What a fella. But the White Sox tied him up. They got Jimenez to hit a home run. They got Robert to hit a home run and Vaughn to hit a home run, and all 3 of those tied the game up, and that was the huge part. Eloy tied it at 3-3. Robert tied it at 5-5. Vaughn tied it at 8-8, and it's the big guys. It's your former 3rd overall pick coming through. It's Eloy Jimenez, that big piece in the Jose Quintana trade, and your supposed, possible MVP coming into this year. The guys that needed to step up today absolutely did. Tim Anderson's been doing this throughout the whole entire season. He's in a little bit of a struggle, a little bit of a stretch here that he's struggling in, but overall he's been fine throughout the season. Jose Abreu's on like an 11 or just snapped the 10-game hitting streak.
That's an 11-game hit streak.
Oh, yeah. So he's got an 11-game hit streak. I mean, he's been fine. But it's great to see Jimenez, who just hit his second homer, Robert, who should be at 10 homers, he just hit his 9th, and then Vaughn, who should be at 10 homers too, he just hit his 8th. Finally good to see these guys step up.
Yeah, and like you said, the only person in the White Sox starting lineup that didn't get a hit was Tim Anderson. The only other person that didn't get 2 hits was Yoan Moncada, who had to leave the game early because of the foul ball off his instep. But the offense showed up versus a tough competitor in Joe Ryan. I was very worrisome that this game was going to be low scoring. The Twins were going to do their home run thing, and the White Sox would lose 5-2. That's what I predicted before the game. I'm glad to be wrong because the White Sox bat showed up. We got some good bullpen efforts. I mean, Raylo's turned into a thing, man. Mm-hmm. I mean, I know people wanted to go extra innings, but he just pitched yesterday too, guys. He can't pitch every day, and he can't pitch multiple innings every time he goes out there. But we got exactly what we needed from him. Kendall Graveman was disappointing, but Jorge Polanco, you got to tip the cap sometimes. You just put the bat out there and crush that ball out to the 108 section. Sometimes people are going to catch you, and that necessarily wasn't a bad thing by Kendall Graveman. So complete win for the White Sox. I would, like a better pitching performance because Lance Lynn is still not there. But hell, like I said before, we are in a dearth for wins. This is our 39th of the year. We cannot be choosing how we need to win. We just got to win now.
Right. And, hey, I mean, last time you had a close game like this, walked off by Leury, you won the series against the Giants. You swept the Giants. So maybe good things ahead coming up against Detroit. Detroit's been a tough out as of late, but it's nice to see them win one, and it's nice to see them pull through because they didn't pull through on Monday night when this one went into extras. So they showed that fight, and they showed many different times today that they wanted it, which has been the call here. I wanted to see that they wanted this division, and, the first 15 games against the AL Central and the next 14 days didn't start off well, going 0-2, but hey, you righted the ship. You're 1-5 against Minnesota now, but you're going to have a ton of games the end of the year to make up for that. I think you got 13 games now against Minnesota to still finish with a winning record against the Twins. A real fun game, absolutely, and some stuff that I'm really excited to talk about. First off, let's look at the balls in play, Steven, if we could pull up this graphic for the White Sox through the first 5 innings. And this kind of shows you where the White Sox did their damage. First off, that one that's in the upper left-hand corner up and into a right-hander, the slider, that's the Eloy Jimenez homer. He hit that 44 degrees into the air. It's the highest launched ball in White Sox home run history, according to StatCast, which I think has been tracking data since 2015. If that's a fastball, I don't think that one's getting out. If that's a fastball, I think Eloy Jimenez strikes out there, but it was a great job for Jimenez to turn on that ball and then do some damage. And then Jimenez also got a slider late in the game over the middle of the plate against Griffin Jacks and drove in another run that was extremely important to the White Sox at that moment. And then the 2 other ones, Luis Robert got a cutter hung by Emilio Pagan, and he absolutely tattooed it. And then you also saw a curveball there from, I think it was Joe Ryan, and he got tagged by Jose Abreu for a double. White Sox were able to score in that inning, and that was a huge part for the White Sox in this game, taking advantage of mistakes. And Luis Robert did a great job today with that. And then, let's go to, I think I sent you some Luis Robert graphics here, Steven. Something that we mentioned yesterday that was great. First at bat for Luis Robert, he saw 4 sliders from Winder and spit on them. And this is Luis Robert versus sliders today. He had 3 fouls, 1 called strike, and 3 balls. He saw those balls very well today. He was swinging at the ones that were in the zone. He was really, really disciplined today against the slider, and that's why you saw the home run. That's why you saw another single, and that's why you see 2 runs from him, 2 RBIs. He was huge today and had another walk. I mean, if this is the Luis Robert you're going to see, a Luis Robert that looks, I don't know if engaged is the right word, but at least engaged in the right way for a hitter. There's a great video I saw of Fernando Tatis and the way that he's seeing his takes. And he sees the first one, he's like, all right. And then he sees the second one, he's like, okay, I see this guy. And then the next pitch, fastball right down the middle, and he takes it deep, right? Luis Robert kind of was giving me that feeling today. A guy that was really getting excited by the pitches that he wasn't swinging at because he knew, like, all right, this guy's got nothing to beat me. And, hey, Luis Robert is supposed to be that guy. Luis Robert's supposed to be this guy hitting balls 440 feet and destroying guys with his speed and power. We haven't seen that just yet, but this is at least some developmental signs, hopefully, for Robert to take that next level step.
It was good to see, and like you were saying, it is a thing. Like when a basketball player is seeing the hoop as big as the ocean, he's going to be trying to shoot all the time. And when Luis Robert's just spitting on sliders on the outside, he's seeing it deep. He understands what the pitcher's trying to do to him, and we've been complaining about him. Like, this is third year. You should be understanding what a slider is and why they're throwing you sliders, because you're not hitting them. And you can't hit them, so unless you're going to be going to right field with them, you're better to lay off of them. And somebody's got into his ear, or he got himself right, because the sliders the last couple of days, he has not been taking the bait on. He's been doing a good job. And like you were saying, it seems like he's confident. It's like, he's got to come to me. He's got to come to me with whatever pitch he has. And if he comes to me, I'm going to hit a home run really hard, really fast. We've only been out of 10 of 30 ballparks, and that Eloy would have been out of 28 of 30. What a dong, a great Twitter site to follow. But home runs are home runs. It's good to see him finally seeing the ball like he needs to and understanding. I think somebody got to him and said, hey, Luis, those pitches you can't hit anyways. Lay off of them. If they're strikes, they're called strikes, tip the cap. But if you're not swinging at those anymore, they have to come to you. And when they come to you over the plate, like they did late in the game with a high fastball, had an 0-2 count, and he throws him a high fastball. It's off the plate, but Luis Robert has shown time and time again that he can hit a fastball, especially that it's above the plate. Don't throw that to him. He'll crush it. And you saw pitchers in the Minnesota Twins had to come to him. Griffin Jacks had to come to him. You saw earlier, Joe Ryan had to come to him, and he punished him. He made him hurt. And if he's going, and if Eloy's going, and you got Jose going, and then you hit the home run by Andrew Vaughn, this offense is unstoppable.
Well, and if Tim Anderson's on base, which he usually does, hey, there's more runs.
He scored a run today. Yeah. Tim scored a run, and he almost got a hit. Yet for the great play by Max Kepler, who had a great day today, I tipped the cap. And Tim had a boneheaded play earlier in the game, but he made up with a run in the first inning. But if he's on base, this team is otherworldly.
I mean, that's another defensive error that we can bring up, and just kind of boneheadedness from Tim. It's a play hit. I think it was kind of up the middle, so Tim grabs it really around the bag, but it was past the bag, so he was on the second side, base side of the bag, so he would have to turn back and went to step on second. So Tim ends up grabbing it and trying to tag, I think it was Kepler.
It was Kepler.
Hits him with the glove and then throws it over to Jose, and we're like, all right, baby, just got out of the bases loaded jam. Double play. Real nice. Tough for Lance Lynn getting into a bases loaded jam against the Twins with one out, but you get the double play that was much needed, go to the next inning. Then the replay shows Tim had the ball in his hands. Glove was empty. So, just boneheaded from Tim there. But, he's been all right. And usually when he makes mistakes, he owns up to it. He turns back, and he's usually a pretty reliable guy for the White Sox there. But you're right about Robert, and that's kind of the point we're making. You're kind of saying, like, do they know the scouting report against Luis Robert? Why are you throwing him fastballs? Well, I think they're thinking, all right, he's so patient on this slider. He's so patient on this slider. He's probably going to be late if we throw him a fastball. Nope. Correct. And that's the next level athlete right there, is exactly with Byron Buxton. It's the speed of the bat. It's the power that you can generate. It's making sure that the barrel gets onto that ball. That's the next level athlete part of Luis Robert. And that's great to see. If you're going to try to sneak a fastball by you, make them pay. And we saw that with Jose Barrios, where he took that one to the moon against Toronto, and then he did it again against the Twins today. So that was really great to see. And do we have another Robert one? I think there was another one too. I might have missed it. But even in the Pagan one, the one where he hit the home run, Pagan starts him off with a cutter that was basically over the middle. Then he goes to two fastballs, and then he tries to go for the cutter again. And Robert, again, it was right in the middle, and Robert saw that pitch. It was a mistake by Pagan, left it over the plate, and he drilled it. So some good signs from the White Sox offense, absolutely, and stuff that is just great to see, because the bullpen has been pretty good this year. And obviously you see 8 runs. Lance Lynn gave up 5, but the bullpen almost blew this game. Kendall Graveman gave up that bomb to Jorge Polanco. Jose Ruiz made it tight in the 10th inning. You also saw Matt Foster give up a home run as well. But the bullpen for the large part of the year has been good. It's been the offense that has been the issue. So good job on the offense to pick up the bullpen's mistakes. I don't want to harp on it too long because, you said Jose Ruiz has been scoreless since June 12th. Matt Foster has been all right. He's been pretty shaky after recently, but he was really good in the first half. And then, Graveman, he's here for a couple more years. So, hopefully this is a bad outing and he'll get him next time. But really loved what I saw from the offense today.
Yeah, and it's a testament to them not putting their heads down. It seemed like the first two games, it could just be anecdotally I saw something. Like, I felt like they weren't engaged in the game, and maybe because the runs were so low, it didn't seem they were lifeless. They were making boneheaded mistakes. Today, they had many opportunities just to hang their head and say, Twins are better than us. They keep on going ahead of us, and maybe we're just not ready for them this year. But it took the heart of champions out there doing the job, getting the job done when it needed to be done versus a tough customer in Joe Ryan. Those guys in the Twins that came in, their bullpen, they don't have good or high ERAs. Like no. Griffin Jackson's a sub-2 or not sub-3 ERA. McGill had a sub-3 ERA. Duran has a sub-2, and Morant, the guy they got the winning run off of, has a sub-1.5 ERA, 1.23. These are guys who are pretty good, and the White Sox got the job done versus most of them. Duran, what can you do with it? 102 miles per hour? No, sir. Come on now. If they don't hit him, I'm fine with it. But everybody else, those are tough customers, and the White Sox got the job done.
Absolutely. And, too, you mentioned the bullpen there, and I guess that's where they spend the money. That's the White Sox difference versus the Twins. The Twins have really been struggling to find bullpen help, and thankfully the White Sox were able to get after it. 5 earned runs off of the Twins bullpen. It did damage when damage was needed. You can't hit right-handed starting pitching. Usually, good right-handed starting pitching usually shuts down the White Sox. I was worried about Joe Ryan in the matchup, but he only goes 4 innings. I think we got the pitching lines here. He only goes 4 innings. He allowed 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, and 3 Ks. And the thing that I liked about it, you noted the patience. Counts after 3 pitches. I just want to go through this and see kind of where the White Sox were doing this with Joe Ryan, because he left after 4 innings throwing 85 pitches. They got to 5 2-1 counts. They got to 7 1-2 counts. They got to 1 0-2 count. And that was just because of foul balls. And then 5 of them ended on 3 pitches or less. But that was good to see that the same amount of pitches that were, or at-bats that were ended before 3 pitches were even reached, same, where they were in hitters counts, 2-1 counts. And in those counts, they had a walk, a strikeout, a single, a fly out, and a hit by pitch. So they got on base 3 out of those 5 times. So that was really good to see for the White Sox today. And even in 1-2 counts, homer, double, a walk, they did pretty good in those counts. So good to see the White Sox doing damage when damage was needed to be done. And one thing, too, the Twins have just been phenomenal this season, or at least this year, at hitting mistakes. And we saw this today. Polanco hit 2 mistakes really hard. We saw Urshela pound a mistake as well. Buxton has done this. I want to talk about the heart zone for StatCast. Okay. This is kind of where pitches are mistakes, right? This is exactly where you want to be hitting the ball. It's middle, whether it be up a little bit or in the zone, but it's a nice square in the middle of the strike zone, called the heart of the plate on StatCast. And I want to compare the Twins and White Sox, because this is why the Twins are 47-38. When you make a mistake, they are destroying it. The Twins have seen. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. I was just gonna read the yeah. So this is the White Sox versus the heart of the zone. So the Twins have seen less pitches in the heart of the zone. They're 17th in baseball compared to the White Sox being 15, but they have the 6th most hits. White Sox have the 14th most hits, but the isolated power, that's if you minus the batting average off slugging. So this is just truly, what are you doing? Hitting doubles, triples, homers. Twins have the 3rd highest ISO at 282. White Sox have the 26th highest ISO, or the 4th worst ISO in Major League Baseball, in the heart of the zone at 187. And the exit velocities are different. Twins have the 4th best exit velocity at 94.2 miles per hour. White Sox have the 9th best exit velocity at 93.2 miles per hour. That's good. The White Sox are hitting the ball hard, but what's the difference? The launch angle, 16.4 is the average degrees for the Twins at 11th in baseball. The White Sox at 23rd at 13.9, an average degree of launch angle. And that's the difference right there, is the Twins are hitting the ball in the air. They're hitting the ball in the air very, very hard. And when you make a mistake, they don't let you forget about it. And that was the danger there, was that every time the White Sox got back in, the Twins pulled themselves back out of it. And the White Sox needed to do that today, and they absolutely did it. So if those numbers start changing around, the White Sox have better pitching, this could possibly open the door. And I see in the comments, Mr. C's being extremely pessimistic here. I get it. It's one game, and what has this team showed you before? They're 38 and 41 ball game. I get it. They're still below 500, 2 games below 500, but you need to see the signs that they could get out of this. And the fact that they scored as many runs as they did in June, now they're starting to hit home runs. If this continues to the end of September, they have a chance to win the AL Central. If it reverts back at any point and they have a bad, second half of July or they have a bad first half of August, they have already lost so much ground that will be the killer of their season. But if here until the end of the All-Star break, they go on a nice little run, and like I said, they finish, a couple games, I think they had 15 games, so if they go 10-5, if they go 9-6, I'll be a really happy White Sox fan.
Yeah, and you showed a graphic earlier about the White Sox punishing pitches up in the zone. The balls in play that Eloy hit, that Luis Robert hit, and I think Andrew Vaughn hit, those were mistakes. Mistake pitches, usually, we talked about this pregame and a couple times, the White Sox are not punishing mistake pitches at that rate. And the graphic you just showed, it's evidence of the Twins actually doing that and the White Sox being mediocre to bad at that. So it's good to see today that they take advantage of some mistakes up there in the zone. I mean, Pagan was not good, not at all. I mean, he hasn't been good since he left Tampa Bay. As I said before on Twitter, if Tampa Bay is offering you a player that's played on their major league staff and you accept it, you are doing it wrong, because there's very few and far between players that are Tampa Bay Rays, not their minor league players, Tampa Bay Rays, that go on to success after they've been traded for a player that, Detroit just saw that, where Paredes is now killing down there in Tampa Bay. But Emilio Pagan has been bad, and they punished him. And the White Sox, if this is a trend that they're going to start with, Eloy coming back, who looked awesome today, and congratulations, Sean.
Thank you.
You got the click to pick. Actual first time that I can remember that you won the click to pick.
Yeah, it's been a real struggle for me. I mean, maybe it's because they lose so many damn times we do these post-game shows, so we really don't care to celebrate that honor because, hey, the White Sox lost 8-3, but A.J. Pollock had 1 hit, right? It's been tough to celebrate that. So in a big win like this, having that pick, it was great. And honestly, we had the whole back and forth. You were going to let me have first pick, and I was like, why? Because you want to pick Eloy.
Yeah.
And you were like, no, I want to see who you're going to pick. And I was like, no, pick him. And you're like, no, I'll go with Tim Anderson. So I doubled down on what you couldn't do.
Sorry, guys, I made Tim bad today.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was allowing you to pick who you wanted to pick. I was not going to pick Eloy because I have sometimes that effect on people where I pick them and they turn to shit. I mean, that's Eloy. I mean, I think I did it with Leury the day after he got the walk-off last Thursday, and he was shit that day. But today, I'm glad you won. And it's good my guy Beef Loaf's in the house from the 108. We're going to have a show later on at 8 p.m. You guys should check out from the 108. They're good guys. Good people to party with. Good people to listen to White Sox opinions about. But
they gave me free merch.
It is so great, so awesome to win a game that I thought they were going to lose 4 to 5 times. And they showed the hearts of the champion and that they were not going to give up, not going to let the Twins leave here with the 7.5 game lead. Now, 5.5 is not great. It's much better. You're closer to the Twins or to the Guardians. I think you're only a game out of their range. You got them coming up soon. But 4 against a team that you've dominated the whole year, the Tigers. They're a different Tiger team than the last Tiger team you saw. They'll have that Riley Green guy, and players playing much better than the sub-200 averages they had the last time the White Sox faced them. So it'll be a tough test, and we'll finally see Tariq Skubal again, who is their best pitcher. So it's a good way of going into that 4-game set thinking about, okay, these guys are not that far away from us, and you probably can feel like they're not that much better than us. They're not 5-1 better than us. We're not the Tigers, and they're the White Sox.
And the White Sox have handled business against the Tigers this year. They're 6-0 against the Tigers, and you're right.
They lost one. They lost the first one.
Oh, right. They lost the first one.
They should have won the first one.
5-1. Yeah, they should have won that one. 5-1, and they didn't have Riley Green in that. But also, in the next 4 games, you got Cease, Giolito, Cueto, Kopech. Right now, those are your 4 best pitchers. So you should have the best pitcher in every matchup this week. Maybe not Skubal versus Giolito, but the Giolito that we saw in San Francisco, that guy was pretty damn good.
Really
so
good.
I hate getting optimistic about this team. It was 1 win. They just went 1-2 versus the Twins. They're 1-5 on the season.
I just think about what we would have been after. We would have shit on this team.
Right.
We would have absolutely destroyed this team and called it a day.
And they could have
over.
And they could have gave up. They could have stopped fighting, and every single turn they got down, they kept fighting and clawing themselves back. And hey, another great sign, I just saw this too. Twins didn't have any 2-out RBIs. The White Sox had 4. 1 from Abreu, 1 from Jimenez, and 2 from Vaughn on the home run. And then also teams with runners in scoring position, Sox were 3 for 9. Abreu had a hit, Jimenez had a hit, and Garcia obviously had a hit as he drove in the winning run for the White Sox. Twins, 2 for 11. So the White Sox were better with runners in scoring positions today. They had as many home runs. They walked the same amount. Like, this was a very good way to win for the White Sox. They were patient. They destroyed mistakes. This was a good game from the White Sox. I will get excited about this because, yes, there still is season left. And Steven, I don't know if you still have these graphics from the pregame, but the FanGraphs Zips projection, if we still have those, I'd love to use them because Dan Zimborski of FanGraphs has this Zips projection. He puts out projections at the start of the year. He puts out projections in the middle of the year. Just tries to see what the computer would think if you put all these players and you gave them ranges of their 10th percentile, worst season to their 90th percentile best season. So this is what it was preseason. This is before a game was even played. Zips projected the White Sox to go 88-74, and I think all of us thought that was a load of crap.
Real low.
You picked, I think, 94. I picked 95. I think Vinny picked 95. So seeing 88 wins was pretty shocking. Now you look at 88 wins and be like, baby, let's go.
Please, Jesus.
Right?
Please, Jesus.
So, and you see the Twins there, 83-79, Guardians below 500. And then today, they released an updated Zips. I'm not sure if you have that one too, Steven, but it's literally projecting the White Sox and Twins to tie at the top of the AL Central, both going 85-77. So I think even White Sox fans right now would take 85-77. But it's not even just me. And this is just kind of showing you that it is early. Like, even the computers, after this horrible under 500 start, they're still saying that their chance to make the playoffs is a little bit worse than the Twins. I think it's 59.5% to 53.8% for the Twins and White Sox, but it's still pretty damn close. And if you win more games against the Twins, those numbers will change.
And I'm sure the computer is thinking, like, they haven't played well at home, which is weird for any team to not play well at home as more than a team that is supposed to be competing. They haven't hit as they were supposed to, and so they have a weak schedule on the back end. So the computer's like, okay, they're going to play better. And the Twin team has played above their head. They're not going to play as well because the White Sox will be playing them, for 13 more games now?
Yeah.
And so, yes, I could see that happening. Do I think it's going to happen? No. At the beginning of the year, as you said, I picked them in 94 wins, and in my heart of hearts, I still, like, in the back of my mind, like, it's a 10% chance I think the White Sox are going to win this division. But this, up to this point, has been very draining, especially yesterday's loss. Very draining on me to realize, like, they're not doing the things they need to do to get the job done versus the team that's right in front of them. Now, today's victory is a little bit different, and it feels better because of the fight, the heart, the hitting. Everything you saw today shows me the White Sox have a chance to win this division. But I also saw the Twins. I'm like, they're slightly better than I thought they would be.
Right.
And they got Miguel Sano coming back. Even though he's a knucklehead, he can hit the ball really far. They have a bunch of players that just do the job. And then, Alex Kirilloff's and of course, Brian Buxton and Max Kepler's back reanimated versus the White Sox doing things. Polanco's hitting home runs again. So, yeah, they're better than I thought they were. But I think that 10% in my back of my mind is like, White Sox still going to win it. The 90% still kind of cloudy. It's like, you think with your mind, Herb. Come on now. You've seen all this shit. Come on now. And tomorrow they go out and wet the bed versus the Detroit Tigers. I'll be really pissed.
Right.
Tune in tomorrow.
Cease is on the bump tomorrow. He's never lost to the Tigers.
God damn it, Steven. Now I'm
giving you optimism. Damn
Look at my guy. He said, is it 10-0 versus the Tigers in his career?
I don't know what that is. It 10?
Fuck it. Let's ship it in. We're winning tomorrow.
It's really fucking good.
And Workmach, I can't even say that name. Workmach Barely.
Are you going German there?
Yeah, that has to be a German name.
This is Jack Schnitz.
Oh,
Just change
okay.
his name.
Well, he says, well, I can call them as I see them. They're 39 and 41. That's negative. Hey, they haven't even made it to the half point yet. They will make it to the half point yet and still be negative because they play tomorrow. Even if they win, they'll be 40 and 41. But, they could be, after 82 games, 41 and 41. That's even. I can also do math. It's not that bad. And also, too, Herb, I did say Dave Barista asked how many more matchups with the Twins. 13 more matchups with the Twins head-to-head. But here's the thing.
Yep.
After September 4th, there are still 6 more games to play against the Twins. Do you want to know when those games are for the Twins and White Sox?
I know when they are. They're the beginning of the month of September and the end of October, or the last 3 games in October.
2 of their last 3 series will be against the Minnesota Twins. September 27th, September 28th, September 29th, they will play 3 games in Minnesota. To close out the season... Yeah, then they'll go to San Diego for 3 games. And then to close out the season on Monday, October 3rd, 4th, and 5th, in Chicago, they will play the Minnesota Twins.
And remember, there's no game 163 anymore. The division will be decided on the field. So if we're tied, I think they just they just say, hey, who won more games?
Right.
You're the division winner.
So,
Get out.
The White Sox can still be 5.5 games back on September 27th and still have a chance. I'm not trying to be ridiculous, crazy. I know people don't really want to hear the optimism, but that's why we're saying it's still early. As long as you're close enough to strike, that's baseball. You can see crazy shit happen at any point.
And the Twins go to Texas. While not great, the matchup's going to be on Friday. It's a phenomenal one. I don't know if Chris Kamka's ever looked this one up and if it's ever happened in the history of baseball, but it'll be Gray versus Gray.
Oh, really?
Sonny Gray versus
Johnny
Gray.
Oh, a little touch of Gray.
Yeah.
Oh, shout out Grateful Dead night was last night. Well, anyways.
And you had the shirt on, too.
I did have the shirt on. And, the best way to support CHGO is to download the PointsBet app. I tried to get something with the Grateful Dead in there. That just did not work. The best way to support CHGO.
That's the only thing I know about them. And Jerry Garcia.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah, Dead and Company. Here, I got a better segue. You want to run this back?
Yes.
Lawrence, executive producer here of CHGO, just sent us the PointsBet odds for the AL Central. Plus 115 for the White Sox to win the AL Central right now. So the best way to support CHGO is to download the PointsBet app and use code CHGO when you sign up. If you do that right now, you get 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000. Hey, if you're still feeling a little bit iffy about the White Sox to win the AL Central but want to put some money down and turn $1 into $1.65, right, you get a risk-free bet up to $2,000. That's not it. If you make a $50 or more first-time deposit, you'll receive a free CHGO membership, which unlocks all the web content, and you'll even get a free shirt of your choice from CHGO Locker. That's $2,000 in free bets, a free CHGO membership, and a free t-shirt from CHGO Locker, all for making more than a $50 first-time deposit at PointsBet. If you have any questions, you can email pointsbet@allchgo.com, and we will help you out.
I think you might have misled the people. $100 to win 165.
I said $1 to win $1.65.
Oh, I thought you meant $1 to win 165.
No.
Okay,
no,
that's like you're giving these people too much.
No,
hope.
it's just cheap betting. If you bet $1, you win $1.65.
That's your shit.
Which you get your pay out back, so it'd be like at $2.65, right? Because
yes, you do. You get your dollar back too.
Yeah, right. So it's a real elusive offer.
Bet more than $1.
And
that's Sean's gig.
Yeah,
Stop stealing it.
I'm betting nickels and dimes. Your home for live in-play betting just got even better. It's PointsBet, and if you see an edge in the game you're watching, if your favorite team is primed for a comeback, don't just watch the game. Bet along with it live. There's more live betting, more live markets, and faster live cash outs with PointsBet. So what are you waiting for? It's time to elevate your live betting game. Download the PointsBet app right now and use promo code CHGO when you sign up. Once the game starts, don't just bet. Live your bet life with PointsBet. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER for crisis counseling and referral services. And plus 165 is where you can get the White Sox right now on PointsBet. PointsBet has the AL Central as Twins to win the AL Central at minus 111, White Sox at plus 165, Guardians at plus 375, Tigers at plus 50,000, and Royals at plus 50,000. I'm giving you any betting advice.
Wow.
You should avoid the Tigers and Royals to win the AL Central. I like the Guardians, though. I honestly like the Guardians more than the Twins.
Tigers are coming.
Yeah. Tigers are coming. And you know who else is coming? Strava. Strava's coming because I know everyone has anxiety out there. It's a competitive edge that you start when you drink coffee in the morning. It's a game changer and has helped thousands of people help improve their overall wellness and quality of life. Strava delivers delicious, fresh roasted coffee, specialty coffee infused with organic broad-spectrum CBD. CBD from hemp doesn't make you high or hungry, but it does offer real benefits that can help You can help you feel alert and focused without the jitters and can help you live your day more balanced with less anxiety and fewer aches and pains. Plus, including CBD into your daily routine can help you enjoy a more restful sleep so you wake up feeling your best. The best part, Strava is all about quality. Everything is small batch, fresh and stripped straight to your door. Strava also offers concentrated full-spectrum CBD tinctures for those looking for a more traditional CBD format with a powerful entourage effects of benefits. CHGO listeners, that's you, can save 25% off their entire purchase when you use code CHGO25. It's 25% off your entire order at Strava, Strava, craftcoffee.com. That's StravaCraftCoffee.com. When you use code CHGO25 at checkout, discount coupon valid on non-subscription purchases only, 1 use per customer. And if you already love Strava, like I do, you could subscribe and save with the Strava Coffee Club. With Strava, you're in control. Save on your favorite coffees and have them automatically delivered to your home or office on your preferred schedule because you don't want to run out of Strava CBD coffee. It's the best CBD coffee out there on the market. You want to catch up with the division here?
Let's do it.
So we mentioned right now, the White Sox are 5.5 games back of the AL Central. We said that they're plus 165 to win the division. Twins, who currently lead, are at minus 111. They're 47-38 on the year. Their run differential is plus 52. The Guardians are in second. They're at 40-40 on the year. They fall to 4.5 games back in the Central, and they've lost 4 straight games. The White Sox are 39-41. They're 5.5 games back with a run differential of minus 44. Sox have the best record over the last 10 in the division outside of the Tigers. Both teams are 6-4. Next is the Twins at 5-5. But I also saw someone mention the wild card. It's expanded playoffs, Herb, and the White Sox are actually closer to a wild card spot than they are the division lead. 4.5 games back of the Toronto Blue Jays, who have a 45-38 record. Ahead of them, though, the Guardians, who are 3.5 games back, the Mariners, who are 4 games back, the White Sox, who are 4.5.
Yeah,
so
it's much easier to win the division than go to the wild card. And it's preferred, too, because you'll be playing a team on the road, 3 straight games in that team's ballpark. And if we're doing the first round exit again, I'll be really pissed, especially if it's the wild card. We didn't even have to hang a banner to the AL Central banner. So, yeah, wild card, no. I would rather go for the AL Central.
Yeah,
I know beggars can't be choosers in that regard, but, yes, I don't think they have a chance in the wild card because those teams are going to be better than what the AL Central champion will be.
The only way I see the teams in the AL East falling out of the 3 wildcard spots, because right now Boston, Tampa, and Toronto hold the 3 wildcard spots, all of them from the AL East. The Orioles have been fantastic in this past month. So the only way I could see the White Sox truly getting into a wildcard position if the Orioles put pressure on Toronto and close the gap between them. Right now it's 20.5 games back of the division lead in the American League East compared to the 14 games back of the Rays and Blue Jays. If they're able to close that gap and give more losses to the Rays, the Jays, and the Red Sox, then maybe the White Sox can sneak in, but that's a lot of ifs, and that's the best division in baseball. I really don't think that the Red Sox, Rays, or Blue Jays are going to fall down the stretch here. They both got, all 3 of them have plus run differentials. The best way for the White Sox to make the playoffs, and really the only way for them to make the playoffs in my mind, is through the AL Central. You saw this Minnesota Twins team. They're not that special. That bullpen isn't great. That rotation isn't great. Byron Buxton can be gotten out. You just got to pitch him on the corners. Carlos Correa, they're bubble wrapping him, and he's not going to be here at the end of the year. I don't know if this guy's like fully in on the Minnesota Twins experience. You really got to worry about Luis Ariz and Byron Buxton. I mean, like that's their entire team.
And all Ariz is going to do is hit a bunch of singles, which has value. You saw it today. Every time he goes up, crack, 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 single, 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 single. That is value, especially at the top of the order, but you're not anything on that lineup except for Buxton, for me, I'm not like, okay, we need to pitch around this guy. This guy can hurt us. This guy is going to do damage. So, yeah, it's a better team than I initially thought going into the series, but not a team that is a world beater.
Yeah, and we're going to be joined right now by our guy who's out at Guaranteed Rate Field. He's the CHGO White Sox beat writer. You can follow him on Twitter at Vinny Duber. His name's Vinny Duber. Hi, Vinny.
What's up, guys? How's it going?
Nothing much. White Sox win. We're going to be in a real positive mood, a real up mood. We're excited for this White Sox winner. Who'd you talk to in the clubhouse?
A positive mood. That's make sure that's a promise you can keep, because I feel we've got about 10 minutes or so until Herb is like, yeah, Leury hit the game winner, but okay. That's just kind of how
I would
feeling.
never do that.
2 in 1 week. He's not gonna slain the legend here. He's not gonna. Don't worry. We're gonna be nice to Leury.
Well, guys, we heard from obviously Tony La Russa, but we heard from Lance Lynn, we heard from Andrew Vaughn, we heard from Leury Garcia, and of course we heard from Eloy Jimenez. A very positive White Sox locker room, as you can imagine, after a game like that. It was a big one that they needed, and I think the fashion that they did it in was very needed as well. I mean, man, you could not have asked for any more easy to write story for me after this game than Eloy comes back and they hit 3 home runs, right? This is a team that it was 4 homers in their last 14 games. You put your best power hitter back into the lineup, and all of a sudden the ball starts flying out of the ballpark. And to do it against the Minnesota Twins, the division leader, a team that they hadn't won a game against this season, to do it on a day that they could have been swept at home by the division leader, it was a big, big win for the White Sox, and really just goes to show you, they're not dead until they're dead, right? I mean, this is, I'm not going to do that thing that we've done 1,800 times already this season and say, oh, is this the turning point? Tomorrow will let us know if it's a turning point. But the point being that this division is going to probably remain winnable if they keep hanging around. And, obviously that's a vastly different position than we assumed they'd be in at this point. But today is nothing but positive and nothing but showing that all of their goals are still achievable if they can wake up and start playing a lot better, which, heck, they did today, at least in some aspects.
Well, I like the point that you bring up. We haven't used, this being a turning point. We saw some good signs, and it's kind of like if the door was cracked open, but the window on the other side of the door is open, and the White Sox, it just keeps getting blown shut by the window each and every time. So they need to turn that corner, open that window completely, shut the window, and then let that door stay open. So yeah, definitely not a turning point yet, but good signs.
This analogy is going to need to come with some blueprints to this house that you're talking about here, Sean.
I'll draw it up. Yeah, there was a window on the other side of the door. The door opens kind of.
Yeah, okay, I understand, but yeah, a diagram would be helpful.
I was wondering, Vinny, if they had a concerted effort today, because it seemed like even on the balls that they missed and tried to hit out of the ballpark, they had a concerted effort to hit the ball in the air a little bit more. I don't know if anybody spoke about that, because it seemed like they had, okay, we're gonna pop that ball in the air and see what it does, because it looks like the ball is traveling today.
Maybe that was in the mind of the individual hitters. We'll see. Who knows? But certainly when we asked Tony La Russa about these team-wide approaches to home runs, he does not want to talk about them very much. I think the idea is that, and we've talked about it before on this show, guys, that Tony La Russa and the coaching staff view home runs as the results, not the thing you're trying to do, right? So if the idea is go up there and get a hit, and if you make hard contact and hit the ball on the screws, something I always thought was strange. I don't think there are any screws in a baseball. But if you hit the ball on the screws, then that's going to yield some home runs every once in a while, or more often than it certainly has for them throughout this season. This is a lineup that was built for power, guys. There's no doubt about that. And I think the idea is they just want them to have good at-bats, swing at the pitches that they think they can hit really hard, hit the ball really hard, and the ball's going to fly out of the yard the number of times that it should. That has not been the case to this point. It was the case today, and it's certainly very noticeable. Tony La Russa was asked about it after the game, and of course gave a little smile. He's like, I'm not going to take the bait as much as I might want to that the home runs were a good thing today, and he stuck to the line that he's been using. It's funny, everybody brings up, especially, on Twitter or wherever, because it was a great soundbite, Frank Menachino, the whole fuck the home run line. But that had some context with it, and that was the context, right? It was don't think about hitting a home run. Think about getting a hit, and you'll get a home run when you hit it well enough. So that's what the White Sox coaching staff wants to see. Of course, as we've seen throughout the season, players can fall into habits, both good and bad, and perhaps that's what helped a couple of those balls leave the yard today.
This is just me being petty, so, I'll ask you a real question after this. But the full context or the full quote was, fuck the home run, let's hit 300. And they've been doing that on the road. At home, it's been a little bit iffy. But as we know, the White Sox have the best road batting average in the league.
Well, and Tony brought it up earlier today. I think they're getting kind of sick of not winning at home. I think he's getting kind of sick of not winning at home. There is such thing as a home field advantage, and I think the White Sox think they have one. and they would like to take advantage of it. So certainly he said we got to start winning at home, and they did today. And I'll tell you what, that game was very fun to watch. I think any crowd would have been excited for it. The quality of the game certainly helped, but given a chance to win a big game, the fans that were in attendance were definitely energetic. So I think the White Sox would like to have that feeling in this ballpark a lot more going forward this summer.
Yeah, I was going to ask you an Eloy question, but I want to ask now about the lead changes. They get down 1-0, they come back. They get down 3-1, they come back. They get down 5-3, they come back. They get down 8-6, they come back. You get the point. What did they have to say about the fight? Because that was truly there the entire game. The White Sox would get down, and the offense continued to get them back in a position to win. What did Tony have to say about that?
Well, I'll give you two answers. I'll give you a funny answer, and then I'll give you the serious answer. But I think both are a little revelatory about how today's game went and about these White Sox. The funny answer is somebody asked Andrew Vaughn, hey, you guys came back 5 times today. What does that say about this team? And Liam Hendriks, getting changed over my back shoulder, said, well, it says the pitching was real bad. Not wrong, Liam. But Tony had the serious answer, and it was that something that you guys have asked me a whole bunch about. It's kind of that intangible qualities of this team, right? Do they have when you're losing games and a lineup is getting dominated, it's easy for a fan watching on TV to say, they have no fight, they have no heart, they don't want to win this game. Obviously, that's not true. It takes a day like today to see that for those fans to see that it's not true. And I hope those folks were paying attention, because what Tony La Russa said was along the similar lines, which was, I wish we had a microphone in the dugout so the fans could hear what everybody was saying in there. He said he was inspired by the attitude that they had, the intensity that they had in trying to come back each and every one of those times. Obviously, the results tell the story, but I think the way that these guys are is something that gets brought up a lot in a disappointing season. And I think it is important just to answer that question that you guys asked me here, that fans, might want to know about. And that's, has the team's mood changed dramatically as, the disappointments of this season so far in where they are in the standings, crushed the clubhouse culture or sucked the fun out of everything. You saw today that wasn't the case, and I think Tony La Russa was saying that if you had an ISO camera and a microphone on that dugout, you really would have seen that's not the case. And he was just endlessly complimentary of everything that those White Sox players were doing off camera, inside the dugout, to rile each other up, to make not 1, not 2, 5 comebacks and win a game in extra innings.
Did Lance or Tony speak about his struggles today? It just seems like he was just off the whole day. Is there something that they can offer that it just doesn't look the same, Lance? And maybe they said the no spring training kind of has him off right now, but it's not the same guy today that took the bump.
Yeah, and I think that you might be onto something there, Herb. I mean, that hasn't been offered as an excuse, certainly by anybody, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's really just rust, right? And the amount of time that Lance missed, dating all the way back to spring training, it was going to be a short spring training for him anyway. And while I remember back in March that he was being discussed as a guy who was maybe right on schedule, as if it were a normal thing. He had that interrupted, and pitchers are creatures of habit. And then he sat around. Well, he didn't sit around. He worked, but he didn't pitch in any games for 2 months. We're seeing, kind of maybe a buildup a little bit here. So he's not happy, as you might imagine, from Lance Lynn. He's not happy with what he's doing. He was very happy with what the team was able to do today, but added that caveat at the end that he didn't help him out. And certainly that's true, giving up 5 runs. But he's got to get on track. No doubt about it, because he is a huge part, a huge key to their success in being able to turn things around. We've seen the last 2 days now, right? I mean, Sean, you keep talking about it, the aspects of this team not necessarily being in sync. And here we are with back-to-back starting pitching performances that have been disappointing in Michael Kopech and Lance Lynn. So certainly that's something that has to get better, but I think the idea is today you saw the offense that this White Sox team is supposed to have, an offense that can overcome those bad days for the starting pitching. So much this year it has been the starting pitching has to be perfect, or the starting pitching and the bullpen has to be perfect because there's no runs being scored. Today was the kind of offensive day that you would have expected from this team back before the season started. And if you had a Lance Lynn off day, it is something that can be covered up because the offense is capable of doing what you saw today.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you mentioned it too. Like, I mean, the team really wasn't in sync today. The bullpen was all out of sorts. Lance Lynn was all out of sorts. But at this point, I think they're just going to be taking wins, and we'll figure out the sync issue at any point. Definitely good to see, though. When the pitching has struggled like this, the offense picks them up. We haven't talked too much about Eloy. He's back, hit a home run. How big was the smile on his face after this one?
Because it's Eloy, I think we can, we don't need to give it a 10. We could probably give it a 7 or an 8 just because we've seen how big that smile can get, but certainly would have been a 10 on just about anybody else. I think the thing that you see from him is not only did this team need power, right? And to get their power hitter back is a huge thing. But we talked about it a little bit yesterday. The team needs to have a little bit more fun. Not that they're not having fun. Not that there's anything horribly wrong with what is the attitude in the clubhouse. But Eloy makes it more fun. He got here yesterday, and they were yucking it up in the clubhouse. Right away the volume was turned all the way up on this team. It seemed like so having him in the dugout, having him in left field to be able to joke around and smile and do all the funny stuff, the lighthearted stuff that he does that adds to this team's character is just as important as him coming in and hitting a home run, which he did today, and he also got a base hit that tied the game at one point, I believe. He is the exact remedy to what this team needs right now. Is he going to be able to do it all by himself? No, but there was something today that was different in that lineup, and whether it was all due to his presence or if it was just a really good day, we'll find out. But certainly having him there is a lot better than not having him there, and he played a huge role today in making sure this team got a big win against the Twins.
And it was good to see Jose Ruiz get another good appearance. This is his 9th straight appearance without giving any runs. And I saw the Twitter people, Jose Ruiz instead of Joe Kelly. Jose Ruiz instead of Joe Kelly. I was fine with it. I've seen Jose Ruiz pitch really well the last couple of times out, from a mid-5s ERA to a 3.90 ERA. What did Tony have to say about Jose Ruiz and why he went with him in the 10th?
Well, and not only that, Joe Kelly's ERA is up over 9, isn't it, right now? I mean, listen, that's not to say that Joe Kelly is not going to be a big arm for these White Sox if they are able to do what they want to do and make a really deep run this year, or certainly not just even over the next 3 months. But, Jose Ruiz is the hotter hand, right? And I think in a game that you got to win, you go with the hotter hand. Joe Kelly has had problems as recently as Monday. You want to put him back out there in an extra inning game, which is what he did when he struggled the other day, gave up 4 runs in the 10th inning on the 4th of July. It didn't seem like too bad of a decision to me, and it certainly worked for the White Sox too, as they were able to hold serve, so to speak, in the top of that 10th inning.
I'm not trying to be, again, a nag here. I just wonder about Liam's usage, just because he only had 13 pitches in that 9th inning. I just wonder if just because of how many days they have and games they have in a row, is that why he wasn't thrown out there in the 10th? Because I do like the aggressiveness of putting him in the top of the 9th rather than waiting for a 10th inning to come around to put him in. So I'm not trying to pick here, but 13 innings was a pretty efficient outing for Hendriks. Any talk on why he might not have gone another extra inning?
There wasn't. My guess would be what you just said. Let him be available to win you one tomorrow. I think the Tigers are coming to town pretty hot. They just swept the Guardians, if I saw on Twitter correctly. That maybe might present some more problems than it did, or you thought it would have the last time the White Sox saw the Tigers up in Detroit and swept them. So let Liam Hendriks throw only 13 pitches, and he might be able to throw you another 13 tomorrow. And, we have not seen Tony La Russa be shy about using Liam Hendriks an awful lot. And the thing has, or the script has flipped a little bit here for the White Sox, and you start winning some games. And if that means throwing your best pitcher out there to go ahead and lock down one game after another, that's what Tony La Russa is going to do. And Liam Hendriks is a veteran. Liam Hendriks is a guy who signed this contract, and the day he did it told us that he was ready to pitch as many days in a row as the manager needed him to do. So I totally think that is what Liam Hendriks signed up to do. I think that's the way that they are comfortable using him, unless there is some sort of injury. Obviously, he just came back from the IL. You're not going to see him go out there 5 days in a row. What did he get? 5 saves in a row earlier this season, I think, right? But it's listen. There's nothing wrong with that. They were in a position to win, without stretching him. Or to try to get a win without stretching him. Go ahead and put yourself in position to win tomorrow too by being able to use him.
Yeah, and you're right. Early May 2nd to I think the 7th, he had 5 straight games with a save. So yeah, absolutely. And if that's what they're gonna do, I got no problem with it. Final one. I don't know if you got one more.
I was just gonna ask about Yoan.
I was gonna ask about Yoan too.
In sync.
How's Yoan?
We're in sync.
Yoan is bruised and sore, it sounds like. He fouled a ball off his foot, and if I understood Tony correctly in the postgame, he said Yoan usually wears a foot protector or an ankle protector, and he wasn't wearing it today or during that at bat. I'm not sure what the reasoning is. Maybe it's just a comfort thing.
Either. I think he did this against the Angels. I didn't see one on his foot either.
Well, then maybe that's just a comfort thing for him. Maybe it's going to help him with his swing or, his step, something like that. So wouldn't, chalk it up to him, trying, not doing something to protect himself. But Tony did mention that in the post game. But it would not be surprising, I guess, not to see him tomorrow just for that reason. But certainly he's a guy who made some terrific plays at third base today. And man, that yellow shoes, yellow batting gloves combination is just terrific, isn't it?
He looks very Pittsburgh Steelery to me, just with the black, the white, the yellow. Very much looking, Cordell Stewart-like, Charlie
that's the
Batch.
best Steeler you can come up with?
Yeah, right. Tommy Maddox,
God,
the greats.
You like terrible black quarterbacks. I'm gonna just name them all.
Tommy Maddox was
that's not a terrible black quarterback, a terrible white one. Your shirt. Somebody wants to know what's on your shirt, Vinny.
Dan Payton wants to know.
It's Dick Dale, the king of the surf guitar. You're going to have to go listen to some surf rock from the 1960s if you want to get that reference. But yeah, one of the all-time greats on the sixth string.
The song's Riptide, right?
Miserloo is the most famous.
Thank you.
The one at the beginning of Pulp Fiction or whatever Tarantino movie that is. Yeah.
Great.
I think my favorite thing ever was Bruce Springsteen telling a story where he was in a band early on in his career and he was just trying to find a drummer who could play that drum line and he couldn't
play
find a
Wipeout.
single
To play Wipeout.
Play Wipeout.
Who is Wipeout? The Surfaris. There you go. That's Wipeout.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think we're in sync there. All right, Vinny. It's a good note to end it on. Appreciate you, Vinny. You can follow Vinny Duber on Twitter at Vinnie Duber. He's the CHGO White Sox beat writer, always wearing a great music shirt. Appreciate you joining us, Vinny.
All right, guys, take it easy.
Yeah, a little concerned there about the foot guard, but I mean, it's just odd that he's not wearing one.
I mean, I would think you would always wear it, because especially with your swing, you hit yourself there. That's why you're wearing it initially. But we saw it after he initially hit his foot today on an instep. He wore the foot guard, but he still was like hobbling there, and that's why he left the game in the 6th inning. Apparently, our guy Baloney says that Ozzie texted him in the post game and said, "Hey, how you doing?" And he wrote back, "He's good, thank God." Yoan
nice.
said he's good, thank God.
Love
Thank
to
you,
see
Baloney.
Tony texting Ozzy. That's good to see. And it's also good to see when you're putting good things into your body. I have to tell you about OWYN, which stands for Only What You Need. OWYN is a 100% plant-based protein shake that gives you nutrition that works as hard as you do. All of their products are free of artificial ingredients, allergen-friendly, no gluten or dairy, and they're easily digestible. Justin Fields drinks it. Nicholas Moriano of the CHGO Bears podcast drinks it. I drank it when I was moving the other day, and it gave me that energy that I needed. It gave me that extra boost to get me through. It cooled me down, built up those muscles. Again, it's easily digestible, allergen-friendly, free of artificial ingredients. I've had the chocolate one. I've had the vanilla one. I've had the strawberry banana one. I've had the salted caramel one. My favorite's the strawberry banana. The chocolate and vanilla are very, very good. The salted caramel is definitely maybe not for me, but it's for some people. I'm not a huge caramel guy, but definitely try them all out because they are good for you. You want to put the good stuff into you, and that's what Chicago Bears the Chicago Bears quarterback Justin Fields does, who follows a plant-based diet. And OWYN and CHGO have partnered up to give you an awesome offer. You get 20% off your first purchase at liveowyn.com. That's LIVEOWYN.com, and use code CHGO to get 20% off your first purchase at liveowyn.com. Join me and Justin Fields and try OWYN, only what you need. And we just had Vinny Duber join us. And if you want to become a CHGO member, head to allchgo.com. CHGO.com. You can read Vinny's work there when he publishes work, when he publishes an article. That's how you read it. Members get access to that only. And when members sign up, you do get a free shirt. And we have 3 brand new shirts in the CHGO locker. And there's a members only Discord. So you get a lot. You get bang for your buck. Is that what you say? You get bang for your buck. You get great written articles. You get a free t-shirt. And you get access into our members-only Discord where you get to talk to like-minded White Sox fans. And I did see a little bit of tussling going around in the chat here. White Sox fans are White Sox fans. If people want to be pessimistic, they want to be pessimistic. If they want to be optimistic, they want to be optimistic. This is a 39-41 team.
Yeah,
it's very difficult to figure out how to be on an aisle. Mr. C has been here for about the entire season. I know White Sox Tom has been here in the entire season.
John Froelich.
We don't need to be fighting in the chat here, guys. If people, if you have something to disagree, be an adult about it and disagree. But we're not kicking anybody out because no one's actually being toxic here. And we appreciate everybody listening on the CHGO White Sox live stream. But yeah, the only frustrating thing for me is just the fact that Yoan's not wearing a foot guard. We got to fix that up, clean that up, and the bullpen needs to be better. Outside of that, I'm happy with this White Sox game.
I mean, time to time, we've talked about Tim Anderson struggling with fundamental things. We need to have that buttoned up. Those things are fundamental. Having the ball in your glove while you're tagging the base runner, fundamental. You can't make those mistakes. I know Timmy is the guy, and he's the face of the franchise. But I'm going to call him on his mistakes because I expect him to be better than he is, not just fall back on what he usually does. I would expect him to be the best player out there because he'll be our all-star representative, 100%. So if he misses plays like that, I'm going to call him out. If I feel like he's dogging, I'm going to call him out. And when he does well, I'm going to have the pom-poms ready.
Yeah, and he's been hustling. There's been a lot of close bang-bang plays with him at first base. He just needs to be a little bit faster, but it's not like he's not hustling, at least in the past 2 games. So I have seen the effort there from Tim Anderson. He tried on a lot of those plays. He just missed the ball being in the glove on that one. So I'm not too worried about Tim. If Tim's our biggest problem, we don't have too many problems. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
That guy will fix the ship and turn it around. But that's going to do it for the CHGO White Sox postgame show. Tomorrow's going to be a very important game. We'll have a pregame starting at 6:30 p.m. It's going to be Bo Brisky. Ooh. Yes, that Bo Brisky of the Detroit Tigers versus Dylan Cease. Is that right?
Cease? Is that how you say it?
Dylan C-E-A-S-E. Cease. Never heard of him.
I'm looking forward to him pitching tomorrow.
Yeah, Dylan. All right, we'll see what Dylan does versus the Detroit Tigers.
Who Steven said is undefeated.
10-0 and 11
versus
starts.
the
I
Tiger.
looked it up.
10-0 and 11 starts. So
pretty good.
The White Sox should have a 2-game winning streak after tomorrow's game. Join us for the CHGO White Sox postgame show tomorrow. Again, 6:30 p.m. Pregame. We'll do that with Herb and I. We'll talk about Bo Brisky and Dylan Cease. And then after the final out is made tomorrow, we'll have the CHGO postgame show live on our CHGO YouTube channel. So make sure you join us there. We appreciate everybody who joined us in the live chat for this one. We appreciate Vinny Duber, who joined us from Guaranteed Rate Field. You can follow him on Twitter at Vinny Duber. That's Herb Lawrence. You can follow him on Twitter at Ectorwall23. He's the CHGO White Sox community leader. I'm Sean Anderson. You can follow me on Twitter at Sean_W_Anderson. You can, and you can follow the CHGO White Sox account at CHGO_White Sox. Thank you to Stephen Nicholas for your great production. Also, lovely shoes, Stephen. Haven't seen those Nikes busted
no
out before.
one said anything. I was a little upset about it.
I'm sorry.
People's feet too tough.
Herb,
I like your shoes.
They're white
Thank you,
shoes
Herb.
with a blue,
They're like
teal.
Carolina blue.
Yeah, they're
little
nice.
bit.
I'm not a shoe guy. You see my shoes? They're
Baker,
just regular
Baker
ass
just got
Brooks.
traded to the Panthers today. I busted out the same colors.
Is that why you did it?
No, that was
Yeah, I was about to say,
Ugh,
you were at work
Do you like
before.
Baker Mayfield?
No, he's terrible.
I'm about to say, what happened to you?
Robbie Anderson, his new wide receiver, also doesn't like Baker Mayfield. Also thinks he's terrible. But anyways, we're wrapping up the show. Thank you to Steven for his fantastic production, and thank you to Fleetwood Mac for their 1979 album, Tusk. We will talk to you tomorrow, and go White Sox.